Henry the Green Engine was ready to depart with a goods train when a new rail tour glided into Knapford. Henry was delighted to see the visitor. "Hello," he said. "I'm Henry. Are you here for a rail tour?" "Yes, I am," said the engine. "My name is Butler-Henderson. It's very nice to meet you." Just then, Henry's guard blew his whistle. "Sorry," said Henry. "That's my guard. I must be off. We'll have to talk later." And Henry puffed away with his trucks clattering behind. As Butler-Henderson waited for the points to change to go into the yard, he saw a passenger approach the Railtour Manager. "Excuse me," the passenger said. "Are you the manager for this rail tour?" "Yes, I am," he responded. "What seems to be the issue?" "I'm sorry to inform you," the passenger explained, "as I overheard one of your staff saying some rather rude things about another passenger." The Railtour Manager frowned. "Thank you for letting me know," he said. "We take these situations very seriously. If you could follow me to the guards compartment, we can file a report." "Thank you," the visitor said, as they went to the brake coach. "I just don't know what could cause such bigotry." Butler-Henderson was confused. "Bigotry?" he said to himself. "What could that mean?" Later, Butler-Henderson was still lost in thought, pondering what the passenger was talking about. Could that passenger be talking about a rather large tree? He said to himself. That sounds right. A big tree on this island must be causing people to become rude. Now, where could it be? I'm sure I passed it before I came to the station. Just then, Henry pulled up. Butler-Henderson, he said. Whatever's the matter? Ah, Henry, said Butler-Henderson. Perhaps you could help me. Help you? With what? Well, he explained, I've just learned of a big tree that makes people become rude to others. Henry stared. You can't be serious. But I am, Butler-Henderson went on. A passenger told the Railtour Manager that a staff member was being rude to someone because of a big tree. Henry was trying to make sense of all this. I'm sure they were talking about something else, he said. But it's true, Butler-Henderson pleaded. You must know something about a big tree here. Henry sighed. All right, he huffed. I'll help you find this big tree you're talking about. Thank you, Butler-Henderson cheered. Soon, the two engines puffed around the island looking for a big tree. They retraced Butler-Henderson's route to Knapford. They just came near a wooden area near the line when... Stop! Butler-Henderson called out. What's the matter? Puffed Henry. There it is! That's it! The big tree! I'm sure of it! Sure enough, not too far from the tracks stood a very big tree. There's trees like that all over the island, Henry protested. How could you know that this was the one? I passed it before I came to the station, Butler-Henderson said. Now, how could this tree cause someone to become rude? Henry was beginning to get cross. Don't be silly, he said. How can a tree cause someone to be rude? Perhaps it's magic. Stuff and nonsense, huffed Henry. There's no such thing as a magic tree. I should know. Well, it's making you very rude, I can tell you that, Butler-Henderson scoffed. So it must be working. Suddenly, both engines heard a whistle. It was Gordon with the express. As soon as he saw Butler-Henderson on the line in front of him, he put on his brakes. But it couldn't stop in time and biffed into Butler-Henderson's buffers. Ouch, he said, as Gordon came to a stop. Gordon was very cross. What are you doing on my line, you silly engine? He fumed. Well, Butler-Henderson stammered. We were looking for a big magic tree, Henry interrupted. Silly, huffed Gordon. There's no such thing as a magic tree. Now get out of my way before you make me late. Sorry, Gordon, both engines said, and they backed away so Gordon could proceed to Knapford. When the three engines made their way back to the station, both the Fat Controller and the Railtour Manager spoke to Butler-Henderson. "What were you doing in the middle of the main line?" the Railtour Manager asked. "I heard what that passenger told you about the big tree that caused a staff member to be rude," Butler-Henderson explained. "So I thought I'd try to find it." The Railtour Manager stared. "Do you mean bigotry?" "Yes, that's what the passenger said." "No, Butler-Henderson," the Railtour Manager corrected. "It's not a big tree, it's bigotry." Butler-Henderson was confused. "What does that mean?" "Bigotry is when someone is intolerant of others," he explained. "In the passenger's case, the staff member was making rude remarks about someone else on the train. I've made sure to take care of it personally, and I can tell you a big tree had nothing to do with it." Butler-Henderson now felt silly. "I'm sorry, sir," he said. "I just wanted to help and make sure it never happens again." "Well," said the Fat Controller, "looking around for a big tree isn't the way. The only way to stop bigotry is to be accepting of others." Butler-Henderson agreed. The next day, Butler-Henderson was ready to depart for the mainland. Henry and Gordon came to see him off. "I'm sorry I took you on a fool's errand, Henry," Butler-Henderson said. "It's all right," said Henry. "You had good intentions for doing it." "Just try not to get in the way of express trains," Gordon cautioned, and they all had a good laugh as Butler-Henderson left the station. As for the rude staff member, well, he did make it home to the mainland eventually, on a different train 2 days later.